So one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about, and this may be sort of a controversial idea to bring up, and I'm going to try to phrase it in a way that doesn't make me sound like an asshole. So, because there's an easy way to say this that it's like, dude, dude. So I've been thinking a lot about what is college for? I think there's either a conversation that needs to be had with me or an environment to really understand what is college for, and I just don't know, because what I thought it was for doesn't seem to match up what I'm experiencing. And what I thought it was for was higher education, to elevate yourself, to learn more about society, culture, the subject that you're interested in learning. And I've learned through it because of economics, because of our society, capitalism and things. It's becoming more and more expensive, so that I believe you can't let the cost of college dictate the value of it, if that makes any sense. The value of college is the community once you're there. So most people want to put the value on the direct relationship of how much does it cost, what am I going to learn? That's, I think, a bad viewpoint. I'm just going to say it doesn't matter how much it costs. I'm in this environment for the community to grow, and I'll learn stuff along the way. Because so much of what we have to learn can be learned outside of college. College is just a place to make sure you know what you learned, to reaffirm and nuance through what you learn, which is valuable as well. But the knowledge itself is really not, you don't need the college anymore, the university, for the knowledge. The knowledge is not why you're there. The reason you're there is for the community, is for making sure to test your knowledge, for sure. And so thinking about what is college for, there's a wide spectrum of students that go to college. Because of that spectrum, when you're in the classroom as a professor, as teaching the environment, the spectrum is so wide that it inhibits the ability for, I think, the entire environment to achieve their full potentials. The analogy I was thinking about, it's like, I was thinking the analogy of the Olympic athlete versus the amateur athlete, but I think that's too extreme. So I'm thinking like the pro athlete versus the amateur athlete. And if you put an amateur athlete on a professional team and told the coach, you have to win and perform just as good with a mixture of professional and amateur athletes on the same team, I think you could see the obvious, it's not going to happen. The pro athletes are going to get held back by the amateur athletes. And the amateur athletes are going to get held back by the pro athletes because they're going to compare themselves to something that's out of their reach, potentially. I mean, there's lots of things. And then the coach is trying to coach up the amateur athletes and also challenge the pro ones to the ability that they should be at. And it's the same thing in the classroom. The spectrum of students that are in school is too broad. And for me, I would say, I think there are certain students that there needs to be an alternative pathway. And I get the equity. I get there. This is where I could look like an asshole, because I get there's equity involved. There's other things involved when you want to help everyone achieve every goal. So it brings you back to, what is college for? What is college? What is it going to university for? Is it just high school 2.0, which is what I've been calling it for a while? If that's what it is, then fine. High school 2.0. But I've always believed that college is the place where you start mastery. You start refining ideas. You're like sort of the best of the best. And you're You're gaining that mastery of an idea, of thought, of whatever subject you're in. And if there's so many students that either don't seem to care about the mastery or can't achieve the mastery within the same environment, it's an interesting conversation to have. And I don't know. I don't know. Again, it kind of goes back to my very first ideas that I was thinking about. Is it now that college is just high school 2.0 and grad school is mastery? But it's like we're kind of keep moving. It's like that idea of keep moving the goalposts, because it's also like, it feels to me like college has become such a capitalistic kind of institution that's just like churn them out. It's like accept them all and churn them out. Accept them all and churn them out. And it's like that doesn't seem helpful either. I don't know. I think there's some critical analysis of what the whole idea needs to be thought about in a way. But then just, I don't know. I understand there's just it's a Pandora's box of concepts. It's like, where do you draw the line on things? Where do you set up more? How do you get funding? Again, you go back to that. How do you get funding to divide sections more? Do you have more aptitude kind of tests to get you in, to have you in certain classes? And you said these students are in this class, these students are in that class. But is that, that segregated idea is not a positive concept at all. We know that. There's just a lot about it that, and I know in society we have a lot of people to deal with. So, college can represent society. A classroom can represent society. And there's the other part of it. If you're trying to become the best you can, having to be on a team with amateurs when you are a professional makes it difficult. And yeah, it's just it's an interesting thing. So thoughts. Those are the thoughts.